The Story of Leif and Jeanett, Part 17. If you're joining me new, you can find at the end of this video the hashtag Leif, the Story of Leif and Jeanett, which will take you to all parts of the story if you care to read them or listen to me tell them. This is an ongoing story that will have many parts, probably hundreds of parts if I just continue to tell it, which I will. This is my entire life in a nutshell, what it led to, and this is where what I'm, which is where it will go from here. And anyways, I'll continue the story. And I am a positive person, and I hope the story is leading to something very positive, because that's all that I do is try to be positive and have a good time. The Story of Leif and Jeanett, Part 17. When I sent a message to Jeanett after arriving in Oda, I think there was a hurdle we needed to get over that was inevitable. The transition of how we would decide to meet. I sensed anxiety over the idea of who would bring it up or when we would talk about meeting. I think it was my instincts reading into the possibilities of what she was thinking, but not knowing exactly what she was thinking. Now remember, I had been communicating and following Jeanett for 2 years, and about 2 years, and I had started making tiles of Jeanett several months before I made my trip to Oda with the tiles I made. All along the way, if you listen to the story, there was sporadic communication between us that slowly led to this moment. Jeanett was never sending me messages on her own. It was always me carefully and in an interested way showing interest in Jeanett, and she continued to show to respond to me, leading me on to the next point in this friendship that was growing. She always was positive with the things that I was sharing with her and asking questions about to her. So she was leading me to this moment, which is how I ended up flying 3,500 miles and then driving 12 hours from Trondheim to meet Jeanett every step of the way, sending her a message to make sure that she was interested in me giving her these tiles. I had this anxiety like asking a girl out on a date after the first time and not knowing what she'd say. That was a feeling that I had about making the plans to meet. I didn't know how or when it would come down, and I didn't know exactly how I would suggest it. The moment when we would actually meet. I sent her a message when I arrived in Norway, and she told her when can I come deliver the tiles in Oda. She sent me. She explained to me, how long it would take possibly to drive there if the mountain passes were open, and she led me to Oda, but she didn't send me any messages on her own. It was always me taking the next step in the friendship, and then waiting, wondering, the anxiety building. Is she going to respond the next time I ask her a question about when we might or how we might eventually meet? The steps it took for me to get there. I had a backup plan, and I didn't plan on staying in Oda even after I gave her the tiles. I thought I was just going to give her the tiles, and then I would leave and go up. And I was going to go up to Lofoten to deliver tiles that I had with me to go there. I had a backup plan because up until this point, women always had. I had been groomed to know that don't count on a woman to come through. But Jeanett always came through, and she always led me to the next step of the relationship, to the friendship, the relationship, whatever you want to call it. I did not know this at the time, but when I arrived in Oda, I was new to this community, and now suddenly Jeanett is supposed to arrange when we meet, when I was the one who made the tiles. Now, I wasn't expecting Jeanett to send me a message as soon as I got in Oda, as soon as she saw on Facebook and Instagram that I was in Oda. I didn't expect her to send me a message warmly welcoming me. I just knew she wouldn't. because I was the one that always sent her messages, and she wasn't unusual in that respect. But some women might. Some women may have welcomed me, but not all. That's okay if they don't. But I knew Jeanett wouldn't take that responsibility. Somehow I knew that. I knew that through the months and a couple of years, basically, of me slowly growing and having interest in her and seeing how she responded to me. I knew that she wasn't going to show any interest in me, but she would always respond and show positivity towards my interest in her. Yes, when I told her I was coming to Norway weeks before, she agreed that we could meet and I could give her the tiles. She liked the pictures of the tiles while I was making them, and when I tagged her in the tile making process, I was very careful. I was very comfortable in knowing that she thought the tiles were nice.